We had just bananas Saturday in college basketball. 7 out of the top 10 went down, including 1 through 6. Now, obviously, I think all of those were on the road. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. So, that plays a factor. I mean, it's harder to win on the road.
Not only that, probably if I had to guess, and I haven't looked this up specifically, but I know it's true in at least several of the cases. You're talking about a team that lost on the road at that top ranked team's place the first time around conference, right? So they get to scout how they lost that game, then come home and play them again at the end of February. And that's sort of a recipe for a win against the top 10, right?
Well, and that's kind of my question. I mean, what do you guys attribute this to? Is it, as Chad said, just knowing the team a little bit better? The second time?
I think so. I think they got a better scout on them. And like Chad said, they've probably got some motivation because they lost the first game on the road to the other team. And, there's just a lot of parity, I think with the transfer portal, teams are getting stronger in the power conferences. You see a lot more veterans. You're not seeing a whole lot of freshmen across the board. You're seeing guys who are in 4th, 5th, some 6th year guys. So I think that's part of it too.
Certainly benefited the Baylor Bears, who went from 10 to 3 in the poll. That is a jump you don't see a lot late in the year.
Oh gosh, no. Most years, they get a big win like they did against Kansas. They probably would have maybe moved up 2 or 3 spots. 7 was crazy.
It was crazy.
They kind of remind me of, I think it was John Lovitz in the film The Wedding Singer. And he's like another wedding singer, and Adam
Sandler.
Adam Sandler's character is starting to like come unhinged, and John Lovett's character goes, "He's losing his mind, and I'm reaping all the benefits."
Yeah.
My evil plan is coming together.
7 of the top 9 lose, and Baylor, which Baylor has done a fantastic job of keeping afloat here and not sinking back to 3rd or 4th or 5th in the conference, right?
Yeah.
But for them to jump to 10 to 3 based on beating Kansas on your home floor, and when look at how many teams beat a top 10 team on their home floor. Michigan State did it, TCU did it, St. Mary's did it. I mean, but that's what happens. And John and I both vote, and I make my markings here and there, and I go, well, this team's got to go up, this team's got to go down. And when 7 teams have to go down, theoretically, somebody's got to go up that much. And that's what Baylor did.
It is a perfect storm for them.
It really was. Yeah. But I will also say the point that you make, John, about parity is a fair one. And I know we've talked about it a lot, but what is Baylor's record now? 23-5?
25-5.
25-5. They have 5 losses, and we're sitting here talking about them potentially being a 1 seed. And I think that speaks to, because that's not necessarily normal either. Usually the 1 seeds are like, 28-2 or something like that. But I just feel like, nowadays teams are going to lose a few more games. So,
right.
I mean, maybe Gonzaga is the exception. Last year they were rolling along pretty well, but
even Gonzaga,
right? They fell Saturday.
Yeah, and they've got 3 losses, right? They had 2 in non-conference, and now they lost to St. Mary's. So,
yeah, and I think I saw a tweet that said, Gonzaga is going to go 4-3 against ranked teams and end up being a 1 seed. And it was a little bit of a dig at Gonzaga, but 4-3
really, I mean,
it's not that bad.
How do you evaluate? Because I'll be, I'll show I'll pull the curtain back a little bit on what I'm thinking and how I think about things. And and my bias toward Texas Tech, I'll just go ahead and admit it. But if you go win by win, like quality win by win, I feel like I could make the argument Texas Tech has a better resume than Baylor, even though they're going to finish one spot back in the standings, and have fewer overall wins and fewer conference wins. Their wins, and honestly, I mean, Texas Tech is an Obagi three-pointer in overtime away from having swept Kansas and Baylor and being in first place right now, despite losing on the road at TCU and at Kansas State.
Yeah, and the point you make about I think who you are, your brand name, that plays into the human element of all of this for voters and for the committee. And I saw the other day where Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter put up basically the resumes of 3 men's basketball teams. And one of them was North Carolina. I can't remember, is Kentucky sort of middle of the road this year?
Oh, they're good.
Okay, they're good.
They're
I can't remember.
Yeah.
The other one was another blue blood. And the third one was TCU. Okay. And TCU, if you just kind of took their resume and like who they've beaten and stuff, theirs was as impressive as North Carolina and this other team that I can't remember, but it was a blue blood, you know. Maybe it was UCLA or somebody, but
Michigan,
it might have been. Anyway, the point is, when you strip everything away and you just look at the resumes, I think the bracket comes out a lot different.
And I'll make another point about that from the Baylor Texas Tech perspective. And, you know, congratulations to Baylor for sweeping Chris Beard for the 3rd straight season, by the way. I'll just go ahead and offer that up. But Baylor is going to get the Fort Worth, the San Antonio route probably, right? And I'm sure they'll sell a lot of tickets to Baylor folks. But it's nothing like the sea of red that they would have if they put Texas Tech in the Fort Worth to San Antonio.
That's true. I mean, it speaks to the size of the schools and the size of the fan bases. I mean, Baylor's not quite as big, but they did show out that time they were in the Elite Eight in Houston. That was that was pretty incredible, honestly.
Well, go look at how Texas Tech fans showed up in Minneapolis in the Final Four and Anaheim, you know, that year, and Austin this year, right? And just imagine what kind of crowd they might have at the Alamo Dome. But, you know, hopefully I can stir the pot and get us a few more viewers here with that.
Well, please join us again next week on Red Raider Weekly as we break down the specifics of what's his name, O'Bannon shot. Anyway, all right, good stuff. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Hope y'all enjoyed it.